Going to work every day and doing something can be hard, especially if you don't know where to go or how to start. You might tell yourself, well, today I'm sitting by the computer and I'm going to draw something. I'm going to draw something amazing. And you start drawing, but you don't know what to draw. So you doodle around for a bit, but a short while after, maybe you trail off and go on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. And suddenly it's been too long and you remember, oh wait, I was supposed to be drawing. So you go back to drawing, and you do that for a short while, and maybe you run into some trouble, something that requires you to think for a bit, and you take a break, and you go into social media again, and you fall into this repetition, this circle, where you are drawing for a short while and then doing something else, and then all of a sudden the entire day has passed by. At the very least, that has been my experience in the past with trying to sit and draw all day. Now, I think it's important to have short-term goals, because having an abstract goal, like today I will draw a lot, will make you act abstract. Personally, what I do is I have a rule of 2. I buy post-it notes, and then every day I write down 2 things that I know I can finish and have done today. And it doesn't have to be a grand goal, like make a great painting, but it can be something like sketch a drawing and do the laundry. And now I have 2 things I can choose between. And once I'm done with these 2, I can add new goals. It's also good to consider, in the long run, what are all these goals going to add up to? What are your long-term goals? What kind of artist do you want to be? Do you want to do comics, environment art, or character design? Do you have a personal project, like an indie game or an animation project? Because doing something like a portfolio for art or developing an indie game can seem intense and overwhelming, up until it's broken down into smaller pieces. It can be great to have short-term goals in drawing, because when you feel clueless on what to do next, there are so many other things that feel more convenient and appealing and can give you a sense of direction and short-term gratification, like video games. In a video game, you know what your objective is, where to go, how much experience you need to level up, and how to win. Something to consider is, how can you apply all of these same things to something like drawing? If you feel like you're always distracted by social media or video games, or you're always procrastinating from drawing, then something to consider is the rat park addiction experiment. Back in the 50s, there was an experiment done where one rat was given the choice of water induced with heroin and regular water. Having tried both, the rat ended up only drinking the heroin, and over time it became obsessed with it. All it did was abuse the heroin. So the natural conclusion here could be, given the option between water and heroin, we are going to choose heroin and become addicted to it. However, 20 years later, another experiment was done, because what they hadn't considered previously was that the rat had nothing else to do. It had no exercise, it had no other rats, and no space. All it could do was abuse the heroin. So in the next experiment, the rat was given everything it needed: exercise, space, exploration, food, socializing. And suddenly the rat wasn't abusing the heroin, it was just taking it in moderation. So when it comes to something like social media and video games, you can get addicted to it, but consider if there is something else that stands in your way. Maybe you can't keep focus because you've been inside all day, or you haven't exercised in a long time. Or maybe you need to seek out other forms of entertainment or socializing. You shouldn't have to feel bad because you aren't drawing all the time. Don't just focus on what can make you better at drawing, focus on what can make you a better artist. Work smart, and enjoy your heroin in moderation. Thank you for watching my videos, and if you like my content, then feel free to support me on my new Patreon.